this matchup. Remember, Lands is a deck that has an excellent matchup against creature decks, but has a tendency to have a problem against decks like Sam Friedman's Sneak and Show.
First turn Rishid import.
It's a Rishid import and a Mox Diamond.
Yep, that's the alt art Mox Diamond. We're seeing a Force of Will on that Mox Diamond. Is that Wipe Away?
Yep, Wipe Away. And so the Wipe Away that was pitched there, presumably an answer to Ensnaring Bridge. Remember, we are on game 3. Lands not with a fast win. It kind of locks the opponents out of the game. And I would see, at least Ensnaring Bridge really is one of the ways that Dan Musser does that.
Yeah.
So from Sam's
Island.
Yep. And like I said, combo decks tend to be very good against Lands. Lands has a bunch of good creature hate. It has a lot of ways, it really tries to resource deny people through Reach and Import and Wasteland, and playing lots of them really fast. Eventually it uses engines like Tabernacle or Academy Ruins engineered explosives to suddenly lock all the creatures out of the game, or even just Maze of Ith. Once again though, against a non-creature deck, a lot of those weapons don't do as well.
One of the scariest cards for me when I've played against Lands has to be the dreaded Mana Bond Life from the Loam draw, where they lay a Mana Bond, and we're going to bring a Mana Bond up for you. That's such an unusual card. Green enchantment. At the end of your turn, you can put all of your lands into play, but if you do, you've got to discard your hand. Well, if your hand is a Life from the Loam, then you're going to just do some incredible damage to the Earth Ring. You're going to have an incredible engine with Life from the Loam Mana Bond. Now, only one of, though, because there's a lot of times this card's not very good as well.
Yeah, so interestingly, Dan Musser is a little short on lands despite having his lands deck. He makes a Mox Diamond, plays Dark Confidant, discards Thespian Stage with the intention of loaming it back, but now here Friedman, off double Lotus Petal, responds by making a sneak attack.
Wow, we do see a Wasteland. If Sam Friedman does not have another red source, it's possible that Dan Musser might be able to stop the sneak attack from doing something really terrible to him, whichever it is, Emrakul or Gristlebrand.
Right, there's actually one basic mountain in Sam Friedman's deck, so it is possible for him to, get a red source that is not wastelandable. However, the Volcanic Island is not one of them.
Dan Musser in a dangerous situation. He needs to get an Ensnaring Bridge into play pronto.
Yeah, so with that, Sam expended 2 Lotus Petals to make the sneak attack. He has 2 cards remaining in his hand. And we saw Wasteland and Academy Ruins drawn by Dan Musser that turn. What he can do here is he can, as we saw, Wasteland the Volcanic Island, and I think he's going to go to work on Sam Friedman's creatures.
We see an Exploration as well. Another land in play, and then during the upkeep, a Rishid and Port activation. And look at that, Dan claps the hands, no red source, not in trouble. Now he's got, I believe, a Life from the Loam in hand to go with his with his Exploration.
At that point, fingers crossed, saying no red source, no red source. You know that when Sam makes a play like that, he has the monster waiting in his hand, but with no way to get it into play, Dan Musser is going to slowly start building this prison engine up.
Now, he's not out of the woods yet, folks.
No, you mentioned it before, Ensnaring Bridge is his lock piece. Now, the question is, how does he find it? Well, he gets to dredge Life from the Loam every turn, and the moment he hits Ensnaring Bridge, when it's milled, he can Academy Ruins it back, and then cast it.
We have another upkeep, hit the island, and this time, though, Samuel Friedman has a Brainstorm. Will he find a red source?
And it looks so. He found a Scalding Tarn. Scalding Tarn's going to be cracked, probably for Basic Mountain. It can be Basic Mountain or just another, it'll almost certainly be for Basic Mountain.
Now, what is the card that he's going to bring into play? Is it going to be a Gristlebrand? Is it going to be an Emrakul?
One or the other. He has 4 of each in his deck, and I imagine it's one of the 2.
Oof.
This one, it's going to be the Aeon's Torn, Emrakul. 7 permanents in play for Dan. He gets to keep 1.
God, what do you keep? I almost wonder if you keep the Exploration. It depends on what the lands are in Dan Musser's hand.
Yeah, let's see, what weapons does Dan have to deal with this? So Dan has to hope that this Emrakul is the only monster in Sam's hand, right? So he goes to 5, and then he's going to have to hope that Sam has no follow-up play.
Yeah.
So he needs to figure out how to rebuild as quickly as possible. And I think you made a very good point when you said that exploration might be the way to rebuild as quickly as he can. He does still get that life from the loam in his graveyard.
He has to have a green source in his hand for that to be correct, though.
Yeah, otherwise he's probably keeping Mox Diamond, you would say?
Well, maybe Mox Diamond. I mean, if he's super greedy or thinks that he's in terrible shape, maybe Dark Confidant.
Maybe Dark
hope
Confidant.
for the best possible answers. Those 3 cards off to the edge are the ones that he's choosing from, though. He knows all of his lands are going.
Yeah, his regular lands are fine to place in the graveyard. His deck's very good at getting them out of the graveyard, especially with the life from the loam. It'll be an interesting decision. So yeah, he does have 2 lands in play. They are Thespian Stage and Wasteland, so neither of them make green. But at the same time, it is 2 lands, which is
pretty good for an exploration.
Yeah, it's good for an exploration. So would you rather rebuild by being able to cast lands faster or drawing more cards? This is the decision that Dan Musser is making.
One of the things I love about Legacy are moments of decision, and there are tons of them. He goes with the Chromox.
Yeah, so then now he has the green to cast his life from the loam, and he has another land, and I think that's what he's decided. He wants to get his loam engine going as fast as possible. I do like this play because I think this is the correct way to go, because his whole game plan before revolved around finding Ensnaring Bridge. And if that is his game plan, he wants to be dredging loam as much as possible, and I think this keeps him on that game plan.
And no dredge there.
Right, so he draws Reshoot Import. He's going to go ahead and port the red during upkeep. Seems like Sam Friedman does not. And he draws another land, but has no plays. Remember, this is a race here, and now we see life from the loam.
Frozen Grip. Oh.
He pretends that he cast that at the sneak attack.
Intuition, Mana Bond, Frozen Grip.
Yeah, ironically, the top part of his deck was that Frozen Grip.
Yeah. I mean, you can't control that. That's just how it goes sometimes. Life from the loam, 3 cards in the yard, three land in the yard. Bayou.
Yeah, he wants Bayou because it's a colored source. I'm sure he'll get the Academy Ruins here because he's going to need that in place for when he possibly gets Ensnaring Bridge. And the last one, he's going to go ahead and take Reshoot Import.
Yeah. Now, in this matchup, generally speaking, there are no ways for Samuel Friedman to interrupt the mana other than a Nemrical. And we're looking at his actual deck list. He hasn't done anything sneaky to change that.
Yep, it's really just going to be, can Dan find and cast that Ensnaring Bridge before Samuel finds one of his Gristlebrand's or Emrakul's, and that's going to really, that Brainstorm here will really help him do that.
Not there. I do see a Preordain, another Brainstorm, and a 3rd card of some sort.
Yeah, and this is why those blue cantrips in Legacy are just so powerful. We're going to see him put back 2 cards he doesn't need, crack a fetch land, and then we're going to get to see him use both Preordain and Brainstorm to try to find one of those 8 cards.
Is that a Ponder as well? Did he go into Preordain, Ponder, Brainstorm?
Well, we know he has the 2 cantrips. We can wait to see what else he has out of it. He's going to get to see a lot of cards this turn.
Oh yeah, that fetch, he can shuffle away all of the stuff he doesn't like.
Yeah.
2 islands in his deck.
Yep, he has 2 basic islands, 1 basic mountain. We're probably going to see all 3 of those now in play. Remember, everything else can be wastelanded. I'm going to go with a volcanic island.
Not afraid.
Well, I think even if it gets wastelanded, he's not too concerned about that. It's really, he has his red, he has his blue, and that's really what's important.
Ponder.
Yeah, I like the Ponder play that he's using his blue mana, his sorcery blue cards, while he still can use his sorcery blue cards. Remember, those Reshoot Imports mean that Dan can start tapping him off blue every turn. And he finds Emrakul. It's going to sneakily make its way on the attack and does the last points of damage.
You know, I'm a little sad to see lands for the first time on screen for me to watch in quite some time get smashed down, but that was actually a really cool game for us to catch the end of there, so that's good. I always like watching good Magic.
Yeah, Samuel Friedman now at 7-1, still needs a couple more wins for the top 8, and I would say Lands is one of the decks that I like to describe as matchup based. It is so good against creature decks and it really does struggle against combo decks. I think considering where it was in positioning, Dan Musser put up a really good fight here, and you know, for a while it actually looked like he might get the match.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that moment where he was waiting, just waiting to see if there was going to be a red source from Samuel Friedman to follow up that sneak attack, and he did not put down a red source. Dan pumps the fist, super excited, and unfortunately, though, was not able to capitalize on that moment.
Right.